We're doing a documentary on family law and what it does with families, and I'd really be interested in your comments.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned earlier, I do very little family law, and the only family law cases I will take are where both parties are willing to work things out amicably. I had one case in particular where the young man came to me. I had been acquainted with his parents, and I stressed to him the fact that he had to have amicable relations with the wife for the sake of the children. And I said if he wasn't willing to do that, I would not would not handle it. And he seemed to be very surprised that this was acceptable, because he was getting a lot of pressure from his mother to get rid of this woman. And I think that sight was being lost of the well-being of the children. So I insisted that he had to have amicable relations with her. And this was a number of years ago, and it's worked out well, very well as far as I know. But if they don't,
would you say that you're a typical attorney, or do you sort of break the mold with that attitude?
Well, I would hope that this would reflect the attitude of all attorneys, but I'll have to say that I'm afraid that where there are a lot of assets involved, a lot of property involved, there could be a temptation on the part of the attorneys to take a adversarial position because it could benefit their fees. But I'd hate to accuse my sister and brother attorneys of doing that, but I think there's always that temptation.
And have you found that mediation is very successful for families that are, they've already split apart usually by the time they get in the family law system? And
well, as I say, the very few cases I've had, I've insisted that they have these amicable relations. So in that sense, I'm the mediator, and it's worked out very well. I've had more than one case of this kind. I cited just the one, but I think there's a resistance a lot of times. Again, probably where there's a lot of property involved, where they may want to fight it out. But I know more and more efforts are being made by attorneys to mediate these cases, these kinds of cases.
Thank you, Emily Maloney.
Thank you.
Hi, what's your name?
Jose Manuel Romero.
Jose, could you tell us a little bit about your case here in the family law court?
Well, the only thing I can say, everything is so emotional when it comes to family feuds and things like that, that sometimes it's really hard to all of a sudden come out with words to explain, what the feelings are. But I feel like a lot of things can be reformed if fathers that want their children can have their children to their custody. If we want to go farther, we can save a lot on welfare. A lot of fathers do want their children, like myself. A lot of fathers, they don't want the children. That's their case.
Do you feel that the courts have supported you as a father with your child?
So far, in my case regarding custody, I have 60-40, which she has 60%, I have 40%. I still, like temporary, the decision has not been made totally. I do feel a little left down. I feel like it could be better in different aspects of this case. I feel like I have give everything I had, and I for nothing in return, and I feel like I have give 100%, 125% of my abilities, my love and everything for this family, and to come out with some false allegations that were against me and that nothing was proved me wrong. So I'm innocent of all cases and of all allegations, and I feel that it's just kind of hard to accept that, especially when the judge, one of the judges in Santa Cruz County, put me out of my house with no grounds. If you go by the book, I would have never been out of my house. But he said, I have done it, it's done, and the only thing I can do is give you a fast court date, which is not right.
And have you paid a lot of money in court fees or lawyers' fees over this case?
Yes, lots of money. I spent close to $20,000, and now I don't even have to pay my bills in the end of the month.
So this has pretty much bankrupted you, would you say?
Totally, yes, 100%.
And how about the relationship you have with your child now? Is that close, or has there been some distancing?
No, the relationship with my child has been great because with 125% to be there when he needs me and extra. I try to not talk to him about any of the problems between both parties. So I try to make the best every little second I'm with him.
I appreciate your sharing what's happened to you with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Lancelin, when we were moments ago, we were in the courtroom. Judge McAdams denied the visit for New York. What were some of the issues you were attempting to raise at the time that he issued?
He didn't necessarily deny that yet, or what? I don't know. He's just I don't know. I just don't know what exactly much more a person can do against these attorneys.
Mr. Lancelin?
Mr. Buckwalter didn't show up, so I don't know what happened there. Nobody knows what the Capone side of the story is because they're not present. They're not even there. And Miss Gulliver keeps bringing up and nitpicking and stirring and frustrating and pushing and taking. I have proof right here of the liens on the house and everything else, and she's billing me at this very point for this outrageous ness.
Hi, what's your name?
Ashton Braithwaite.
Ashton, could you tell me a little bit about what's happened with you and your family with the family law system in Santa Cruz County?
Well, I can't comment on the Santa Cruz law system that much because my case started over 2.5 years ago. I was living in Texas with my child and my wife. I was at work one day. I came home early because my wife said she was ill that day, and I found that the place was emptied out. A car that I bought 3 days before, wrote a check for $14,000, was gone. Furniture was gone. And, of course, she took money out of the bank account, not doing the arithmetic, which bounced a check for the car. And that's one thing. But the main thing was that my child was gone. And I had to, hire private detectives to try and find her. That was a 4-month ordeal. It was approximately 6 months till I saw my child again.
Ashton, because she was your wife?
Yes, she was.
Yeah, because she committed a parental abduction, didn't that put you in the catbird seat custody-wise? Didn't you get sole custody after that?
Well, if I was a female, that might have made a difference. But being a male, she fled from Texas to California. And I found myself flying out here. At the time, I was actually in Chicago part of the time. And I'd fly out from Chicago on a number of occasions for visitations that were actually ordered and agreed on by the court, and she wouldn't be there. I found from the people that she was living with that she'd take off just right before I got there.
We have had a second hearing with Judge McAdams. He has approved the visit in New York to occur at the dates that Mr. Lancelin had requested. Mr. Lancelin, your comments on the judge's decision.
I'm exhausted. I'm just so exhausted. And now I'm going to New York to see my kids, and I hope that they're okay. And we'll save all the badness that's coming for later. And I think I'm just going to go enjoy my visit with my kids at this point, since the judge saw it fit to get through the muck this morning and the stall tactics and everything else. Just pretty much it worked out pretty well, actually, for now.
Thank you very much.
In a way that harmed the children, he would hang up in the middle of our goodbyes just because it was exactly that very second, at that second Mr. Capone was holding that. And then other things he would do was put on a videotape or take the kids to a circus at that very hour when they know that the hour block of time is 2 hours every Monday between 2 and 4 o'clock California time, and they would know this.
And how is that time slot chosen? Who chose that time?
Capone's changed it when Sundays wasn't good enough because they thought that Sundays was not a good day. I guess they wanted to hamper my abilities. What does everybody else do between 2 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Mondays? They work. It's right in the middle of a work day. It's a strategy. It's a strategy to destroy the other parent by getting more control of the children, by getting more of the money, by getting more of the support from the district attorney's office, by getting more of the legal modus operandi to crush the other party. There is no mediation here. It's about winning. It's not about the families, and there's just a winner and a loser, and this is the problem, because why have one parent lose?
Now I understand that the packages and letters that you sent to the children were returned to you. Has Ms. Gulliver done anything to remedy that situation?
She's added fuel to the fire. I don't even bother telling her when they do outrageous stuff anymore. She says I harass her and send her faxes and make complaints that aren't so.
Has she produced any of those faxes that she considered to be out of order?
I have a briefcase of a tier of evidence big enough to topple a 10-story building here, and on purpose, after the kids were expecting to see me. They even blamed me on the phone. I did speak with them for about 40 seconds, and Cassidy told me, "Dad, why didn't you send the tickets?"